Ipswich City Council has blasted the state government over the incoming legislation which could soon end its reign. The Law Society's also weighed into the debate that is fast becoming a test of the separation of powers.
As the state government plans the exile of Ipswich City councillors, it's giving them one last say.
Democracy for the people of Ipswich is not a right that anyone should be able to take away, not for a day, not for a month, and certainly not for over a year.
These public hearings were scheduled after the government drafted legislation to specifically remove the council. The acting mayor took over after his two predecessors were charged by the Crime and Corruption Commission. He's labelled the removal by Parliament unjust.
Politically self-serving, cavalier in nature, and legally reckless in practice.
It is an unfair dismissal. There is no accusation, no allegation, and there should be compensation.
As the hearings moved to Parliament, the Law Society voiced concerns the legislation doesn't allow for a judicial review or appeal.
It gets to an end, but by getting to that end, it cuts across so many of the basic rights that people should have.
Ultimately, you believe in natural justice or you don't, and we fall on the side of natural justice.
The government's move to oust Ipswich City councillors has been speedy. It drafted the legislation earlier this month. It'll be introduced to Parliament within 3 weeks, when it's expected to be passed. The head of the Crime and Corruption Commission has a list of reasons why he thinks the government should act now.
A lack of oversight and accountability for expenditure and public resources, inappropriate relationships between council and the private sector, in particular property developers and contractors.
Other critics want action beyond Ipswich.
Each of you, I've looked up each of your electorates. Each of you have major problems with your councils. Linus Power, Logan, Ray Stevens, Gold Coast.
The member for Mermaid Beach, Ray Stevens, has no problem with this Gold Coast City Council.
This committee will hand down its recommendations soon. Josh Bavis, ABC News.